My girlfriend said she needed space. Then I found her moving into another guy's apartment. My girlfriend told me she needed space to figure herself out. 3 days later, I saw her carrying boxes into another man's apartment. The worst part? She looked happy. My name is Liam, and I'd been with Sophie for almost 3 years. We had talked about marriage, planned trips together, and even joked about what we'd name our future kids. So when she suddenly told me she needed space, I was completely confused. Is there someone else? I asked. She looked at me for a few seconds before saying, "No, Liam, I just need time alone." I believed her because I trusted her. I told her I'd give her whatever space she needed. For the next few days, I barely contacted her. I focused on work and tried to convince myself that everything would eventually be okay. Then, on Friday evening, I was driving home when I saw her car parked outside an apartment building. At first, I thought maybe she was visiting a friend. Then I saw her carrying a large cardboard box toward the entrance. Another man walked out and helped her with it. I recognized him immediately. His name was Daniel. He worked with Sophie. I parked across the street and watched as they carried box after box inside. My heart sank when I saw Sophie hand him a key. She wasn't visiting him. She was moving in. I sat in my car for almost 20 minutes, trying to understand what I was seeing. Then my phone buzzed. It was Sophie. "I hope you're doing okay. I'm just taking some time for myself." I stared at the message and couldn't believe it. She was literally moving into another man's apartment while telling me she needed space. I wanted to confront her, but I didn't want to lose control. So I drove home. That night, I couldn't sleep. The next morning, Sophie called. "How are you?" she asked. I said, "I'm fine. How's your new place?" Silence. I heard her breathing change. "What do you mean?" she whispered. "I saw you yesterday." She didn't answer. After a few seconds, she said, "Liam, please let me explain." I replied, "Then explain." She finally admitted she had been staying with Daniel, but she insisted they weren't dating. Apparently, her roommate had suddenly moved out, leaving Sophie without a place to stay. Daniel had offered her his spare room until she could find another apartment. But that still didn't explain why she had lied to me. Then she told me the real reason. She had been planning to break up with me for months, but didn't know how to say it. She was afraid I'd convince her to stay, so she created distance first. Daniel wasn't her new boyfriend. He was simply helping her during the transition. I was relieved that she hadn't cheated, but I was still hurt. "You didn't need to lie to me," I told her. "You could have just told me you wanted to leave." She started crying. "I was scared of hurting you." I shook my head. "You hurt me more by making me think I wasn't worth the truth." We ended our relationship that day. There was no screaming, no revenge, and no dramatic scene. Just two people accepting that something they once loved had reached its end. Months later, Sophie sent me a message saying she regretted how she handled everything. She apologized for making me feel replaced and admitted that I deserved honesty from the beginning. I accepted her apology, but I didn't go back. I had learned something important. Sometimes the biggest betrayal isn't cheating. Sometimes it's realizing that the person you trusted most was too afraid to tell you the truth. I thought seeing Sophie move into another man's apartment would destroy me. Instead, it gave me the answer I had been too afraid to ask for. She didn't choose another man over me. She simply stopped choosing our relationship. And as painful as that was, accepting it finally allowed me to choose myself.